Hi guys, welcome to this week's reading. This is for the astrology and the pick a card reading for the week ahead of this for the 7th. Well, actually that's today, 7th to the 13th of October. So, yeah, if you know my channel, you know that I usually talk about the astrology, which I will do, and then you pick a card to get your messages for this week. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you can pick a number, or you can be based on, you know, what you're drawn to when I show you the cards there with the camera. Keep in mind, it's a general reading, so I try to pick out messages as, you know, as they flow to me, and different messages for different people. But if you'd like a personal reading, go to the link below to my online store, okay? And with the astrology this week, we're still in Libra season, of course, so the sun is in Libra still, though there's some other changes this week where Venus actually moves out of Libra into Scorpio on Wednesday. So that's a deepening of passionate intensity when it comes to love and relationships, and it can really sort of change the energy where you become more hyper focused, and sometimes even, you know, with Venus in Scorpio, the energy can become a little bit obsessive, or very deep emotions can come up and surprise you. You can feel very compelled towards situations in love. You can be very compelled towards a particular person, or you can be compelled towards feeling like you want to be a bit more black and white about your relationships in some way. You may want to know if you're in a situation where you feel confused or you don't know where you stand. That can be, with Venus going to Scorpio, more of an intensity where you're like, I just want to know, you know, what this situation is, rather than sort of being how it's been in Libra, which is a bit more light and, you know, trying to balance the energies. Now it's like, okay, I think I know what I want now and I'm going to go for it. Or if things have been confusing, you want to clarify things. It can be difficult though with Venus in Scorpio, because, you know, it's not the best placement for Venus to be in. It definitely deepens and intensifies the emotions around relationships and relating, and it can be very passionate. So on the positive side, you know, Venus in Scorpio energy, deepening of feelings, deepening of intensity, of passion, and wanting to express that. And you know, sometimes Venus in Scorpio does hide the emotions about it, and sort of waits and sort of observes and waits to find the right moment. But then when it finds the right moment, it's going to pounce type energy. So you might feel that this week where, you know, depending on what you've got in your own personal chart and how the Venus in Scorpio activates your chart as well. But as a general theme, you'll find that you may start to feel a bit more deeply about things. You may start to feel a bit more compulsive about relationships. As I said, you will feel a shift if you're sensitive from a lighter relating energy, maybe, you know, that more intellectual energy of Venus in Libra, or a more idealistic and romantic, to now a seriousness, you know, a bit more of a seriousness. And also things are going to feel a bit more serious from Tuesday, which is just before Venus goes into Scorpio on Wednesday, because the Sun will square Saturn on Tuesday, and you'll probably feel that today. Now, Sun square Saturn can be a little bit of an ego blow feeling, like a bit of a heavy feeling, or a feeling of just your energy being a bit dampened down, feeling a little bit low key, or not putting yourself out there, not wanting to risk too much on Tuesday. You might feel a bit more reserved in relating with others. You might not feel as bubbly, as open, as, you know, easygoing with the square to Saturn, okay? Especially if you're someone that has, you know, Libra, Capricorn, Aries, or Cancerian placements, you might be feeling a bit more serious, or heavy as well. So the other big news this week is there is a full moon in Aries, so that's a very intense energy. Also adds to the passion with Venus in Scorpio, very passionate, and then the full moon in Aries, very passionate. So when it comes to like relationships, romantic connections, soulmates, and things like that, if there is someone around you at this time that you're connecting with, the fiery energy, the passionate energy is going to be pretty high this week, pretty extreme. Especially because that full moon does make a square with Pluto, but also a trine with Jupiter. So it's an interesting dynamic of energy that we've got going here with this full moon squaring Pluto and Capricorn, challenging your desires and your intense emotional needs are sort of clashing with that square with Pluto and Capricorn to the structure. You know, it's clashing with the structure of your life, what you've already set up. And what you've already got set up may be clashing with your new desires that you have, that you want to express. But it is trine with Jupiter, so if a secret comes out for some people this week, it depends again, you know, if you have anything around 20 degrees of Aries where that full moon is, 20 degrees of Cancer, Capricorn, or Libra, this could be very intense for you because it's going to square Pluto, trine Jupiter. For some people, a secret could come out this week that actually sets you free. You know, the saying, the truth will set you free. It's kind of that vibe. So there might be like a bit of a peak of intensity, possibly a crisis for some people of some kind in relationships or relating, that pushes you out of a comfort zone into a new path of freedom. And, you know, as human beings, we're always on the path of evolution, you know, regardless of how we may try to hold on or be in denial about, you know, whatever it is, we're always being pushed towards evolution, and we can resist that energy. But when we do that, it causes, you know, like a disharmonious energy within our being, because the soul is, and the higher self is always pushing us on to evolve and to broaden our consciousness, to open up to new levels of experience of life, which is Jupiter. So that's Jupiter, expansion, growth, freedom, exploration. So very interesting with that fiery full moon in Aries, trine Jupiter, square Pluto. Something challenging potentially can set you free this week. But honesty is also required. But for some people, things may just come to the surface, okay? Interesting. Can't wait to see how that plays out. Sunday, the Sun sextiles Jupiter. So there's some positive boost of energy there. I get the word honesty with that because it is to do with the Sun being in Libra, sextile with Jupiter in Sagittarius, truth and honesty in relating and relationships. That's what I get from that. And speaking of relationships, I did get the Romance Angels cards out this week to have a bit of a look at relationships with the pick a card as well. So let's have a look. So I'll just show you one last time if you want to have one last look. So this is 1, 2, 3, or 4. You can go by the number or just by the vibe that you're drawn to. Okay, so I'm going to see what we've got now. Okay, you have give your relationship a chance, visualization, and the 2 of Wands. Wow, interesting. So I like this. It's kind of saying to you that if it looks like if you've picked number 1, you're either in a relationship, have your eye on someone, or have a connection around you, a soul connection, or it's about someone coming in to your life, okay? So it's very interesting. There's a sense of anticipation is what I'm getting with this. Anticipation is the word I get. 2 of Wands here, interesting, you know, 2 relates to 2 people, but in the 2 of Wands, it's always about looking to the future and what's next, what's coming next. And it looks like you've been trying to manifest here. You've got visualization. If you haven't been working on manifesting, it's advising you to work on using your emotions to really visualize what you want for your life and really feel the emotions when you imagine yourself. Again, this is about relationships very strongly. So if you imagine yourself with, how would you feel if you're with that person that you want to be with? What does it feel like for, you know, them to embrace you, just like this card is here? It's very strong romantic energy here. Now this card is saying give your relationship a chance and work on your partnership. So just because, you know, a relationship is hard work, it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. Sometimes it's the work that you put in and the growth that you see as a result of the effort that you put into a relationship that makes it really worthwhile, and you see, you know, how far you've come, and it's really satisfying. But this is a fulfilling relationship I'm getting. So this is not something that you're working on, trying to make work, but it just keeps falling flat completely. Like there's no passion or there's no mutual, you know, receptive energy going on. There's a very electric energy that I'm picking up with this, and there's a strong desire, which is coming here with a visualization card. The visualization card says imagination, focus, experience, manifestation. So, you know, even for people that you might have picked this card if you're not in a relationship, it's about visualizing how you want to feel in a new relationship and looking towards a positive future for yourself and knowing that there is someone there for you. That's for people that are not in one. But I feel like majority of people that picked one are either, as I said, have someone around them, or, you know, the energy of relationships is very strongly around you at this time. So I feel like there's a bit of a pause here though. So there's either been a bit of a pause recently, or there is this energy a little bit. And possibly with the full moon in Aries, things will shift. But this is good. Like overall, I get very good energy for this. If you chose this, there's a lot of positivity here. There's things manifesting here with this card. And your guide's saying, look, don't give up before things click into place, okay? Because it is happening. And, you know, taking a few minutes at the end of the day to just visualize what you want is going to be very effective. But don't forget to let it go and release it. So if you've had worries about relationships, if you chose one, it's saying instead of putting energy into worry, put your energy into imagining and visualizing yourself in the situation that you want. This is for 2. Oh, interesting. Well, I like these cards too. A lot of blue energy here. Throat chakra energy, very strong. The Wheel of Fortune and next to the communication card. Okay, if you chose this, there is communication coming into you this week from someone significant, or an important conversation, an important connection, a moment of deep connection, and it's possibly a bit unexpected with the Wheel of Fortune here. You might decide to suddenly express something to somebody this week yourself. It might not be coming from the other person, it might be you doing that. But it's going to be spontaneous with the Wheel of Fortune here, okay? Just be aware of that. And it's interesting you have it's safe for you to love, because it's like reassuring you, you know, it's okay for you to express, just as long as you do it in a way that feels right, that you're not sort of just coming from your ego and grasping too hard for something, but you're just kind of in the flow and you're inspired to, you know, connect. And I do get quite a light energy. It says self-expression, exchange, sharing, connection. So it's not heavy energy with this communication. It might be significant in some way, like it might be divine, like a divine moment that happens where you just feel things happen spontaneously. It kind of has that vibe with the Wheel of Fortune, like, oh, I just throw 11:11 on my on the timer on my video camera here. Yeah, interesting. Okay, could be something for twin flames as well there, possibly. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So this is about being open-hearted and not being contrived or having too much of a, you know, a plan. And that relates to the full moon in Aries, which is it's a very spontaneous, but it's very natural energy. It's very naturally expressive, you know. So I do feel important conversations if you chose this, and turning points in communications, in connection. And it's safe for you to love says, you know, you can leave behind any sort of fears from the past. Though remember, Tuesday the energy is a bit restrictive, but possibly after that this week the energy is about having more of an open heart and being open to a flow of communication. I also get the word friendship here. So, you know, the basis of any long-lasting connection is friendship. I really believe that. And, you know, you have to like someone in order to love them as well. So, you know, liking that person for who they are and accepting them for who they are and having that connection, it's very strong if you chose that this week. Okay, so let's go to number 3. Oh, 3 of Swords, not my favourite card. Dreams, okay. Playfulness. Oh, so the 3 of Swords, I feel like this might be the start of the week I'm getting. There's some feeling of either a bit of like heartache, things from the past I feel burdening you, fears about how to move forward with a relationship and not knowing how to handle something, and it might be really bothering you, it might be getting you down because you might feel like you don't know how to manifest your dreams, see, because these cards are together. So now it also says on this card, message, signs, symbols and guidance. So even though you might feel down about something, you are actually getting guidance. You're getting guidance from your guides. They're around you very strongly with this card, and there might even be messages through dreams like premonitions or certain dreams that are giving you a feeling of positivity. The playfulness card is very interesting in contrast to the very heavy 3 of Swords. And what I'm getting from that is don't be so attached to the idea of, you know, this limited idea in your mind of how something should be. This is about going with the flow, going with your intuition and being light as well. Now that might be hard for you this week with Venus in Scorpio, you know, the Sun square Saturn. But I feel like, you know, this is the end of the week for me for this reading, for you guys in particular. And it's saying that, you know, the beginning of the week might be a bit difficult for you, but by the end of the week, you kind of reframe things a little bit and you get a bit more of a better perspective about life and realize you can't be so controlled about everything. You can't be so controlling. Sometimes you have to just go with the flow and be a bit more lighthearted about situations to get the best out of them. Okay, that's what I'm getting. But pay attention to your dreams because there's definitely messages coming through for you guys in your dreams this week. For number 4, ooh, the Lover's card. Well, and self-expression, more stuff about communication, interesting. Finances and career. Okay, so if you chose 4, there's something very significant in a relationship happening for you this week. Now, there may be decisions coming up around finances and career. And the self-expression card, I do feel that if you chose 4, there's something to do with your finances and your relationships situation. So it could play out in various different ways for different people. But I just want to focus now on the self-expression card because that's really getting my attention. It says vocalization, individuality, inner voice, assertiveness. It's a 32, which is a 5, which is a very independent energy. All right, so let me just see how this all goes together. Okay, so what I'm getting here is there's something that you may want to communicate this week that is related directly to your relationships and your money situation. It could be your shared finances. It could be something coming up if you're already in an established relationship, a marriage or something like that, where there's something that is changing with finances this week, or something where you need to communicate about planning something with your finances, saving money for the future to do with something regarding current relationship or, you know, changes in a relationship. It could actually be affecting, you know, a relationship situation, and changes related could be affecting your practical life, like the structure of your life, you know, your routine, things like that. But there is a decision here, and it is related to your relationships. And there is something of a communication or a conversation. And what I'm also getting for some people, it could be career related for some people more so as well, where you need to sort of speak up to progress in a situation, career related or work related, to advance yourself or to change something to do with your workplace or career or, you know, working life. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for that. So those were the messages for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And as I said, if you'd like a personal reading, go to the link below. Have a great week. Bye.